the real world.
Hello, and welcome back to CoinDesk Live from Stellar Meridian 2025. Our next guest is leading the charge. She's been at the center of it all. Please welcome Stellar Development Foundation CEO and Executive Director Danelle Dixon. Danelle, hello.
Hello. Hello to you both.
Talk to us about being here in Rio. Stellar Meridian 2025 is taking place here. I imagine you've been doing a lot of work to get here. Talk to us about the journey and why Rio?
Yeah, I'm going to first start with why Rio. We needed it to be in South America. We haven't been to South America before with the Meridian, and Brazil's the perfect spot for it. And then frankly, when you think about Brazil and you think about the place to be able to have, like they already call Rio, the Silicon Beach of the area with AI, they're focused on digital. They have a regulation here that already allows individuals to pay their taxes in crypto, very friendly to what we're doing. So it made a ton of sense. And it has been great because everyone loves that it's here in Rio. So that's that. In terms of the work that we've done to get here, I mean, so much of it is like we try not to make any announcements before the things actually drop. So before it's actually active on the network. And it's so fun because Meridian becomes a forcing function. So there's all this stuff that we've been talking about since we've been here that's now come to life. So it makes me happy that we can talk about it publicly.
You know, we've done this a lot. I think it's our third together. I've always said to you, this is every time it's like we now have leapfrogged to the next stage. So I'm just interested in thinking about how it feels to be where you're at. Stellar's had a great year. But also, I think a lot of things we were talking about a couple of years ago as sort of hypotheticals are now reality. Yeah. So what does that feel like having sort of gotten to where we're at, and I'm sure looking towards the future?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because I say now, it's really cool to be OG. And we're so OG, given that we're 11 years old. And I've been in this for almost 7 years and just really focused on asset issuance, payments, making sure that we actually have these everyday financial services. It hasn't been sexy. It hasn't been cool. But you guys, it is now. So I kind of look at it and I think like this is like everything we've talked about and done for all of these years is happening. It's here and everybody wants to be there. Not just this chain. Everybody wants to be there on other chains. And we talk about, is it patience? Is it prescience? I don't know, but it's really nice to see.
Danelle, I was really trying hard not to ask you to choose a favorite baby, but there's been a lot of announcements made here, like you just mentioned. And maybe don't tell us your favorite. You can tell us multiple, but what are some that really stand out, that really kind of show the public the direction in which Stellar is heading?
So I would think about it as less about one, for example, asset that's issued. And I would think about it from this standpoint. We just at Meridian have announced access to over $3 billion worth of real world assets on Stellar. So there's lots of issuers, PYUSD, Ondo, Mercado Bitcoin, Centrifuge. There's a lot of them that have come into play. Red Swan doing tokenized real estate. So think about it more as, why is that so crucial? It's because assets are the first way to be able to get to those everyday financial services. And if you want to know like the real thing that matters to me, it's those everyday financial services. I'm going to keep hammering that every single day. You need credit. You need the ability to have lending. You need to have borrowing. You need to have the ability to be able to send value. That is what we need. And to get there, we need these different assets. And to see that access now is really cool.
And also, PayPal, we had Visa here before, Red Swan, Ondo, all of these are names that are really trying to build more and more from very traditional businesses to startups. I think, I'm wondering how your opinion of like what the unlock of the last year within the regulatory framing has been that's allowed this stuff to really supercharge.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, of course, like in the US, having the Genius Act, having just more openness to this tech stack has been amazing. And I think it's opened up the traditional financial infrastructure more to be relevant and to look at blockchain and say, here's another rail that I want to participate in. So that's been great. I do also think that it was just time. Like if you think about what was happening and all of the different ways that we were already seeing so many payments, so much velocity on the network, it was time to be able to bring this all together. But there's a lot more work to do. I mean, with traditional financial infrastructure, you need to focus on privacy. And so privacy is a big piece of what we're looking for because we want those everyday financial services for businesses and for humans, but you need to have privacy be a part of it. And I guess like that's what makes me more excited, is that there's still more to do and it's really fun work.
Can I double down on the privacy conversation? Because I think we've had that now a number of times here. If you're a Franklin Templeton, you may not want every signal on chain transparently. But I think the ethos of
I wanted to run that clip back real fast before we trans over to the talking points for today and the conversation that we're going to have.
Okay.
Because it's so crazy, yo. I swear. It's like a year and a half ago, we were telling everybody, warning everybody, Stellar, Ripple, like all these, or XDC, like everybody that was not previously focused on DeFi primitives, lending, borrowing, yield generation, liquidity providing, all these things, they're going to start to transition. Now here we are, Meridian 2025, and freaking listen to what Danielle Dixon says here. I'm pretty sure she said specifically, lending and borrowing is like the most important, and we need to be able to provide these things, right? Hold on a second.
Bitcoin, Centrifuge. There's a lot of them that have come into play. Red Swan doing tokenized real estate. So think about it more as, why is that so crucial? It's because assets are the first way to be able to get to those everyday financial services. And if you want to know like the real thing that matters to me, it's those everyday financial services. I'm going to keep hammering that every single day. You need credit. You need the ability to have lending. You need to have borrowing. You need to have the ability to be able to send value. That is what we need. And to get there, we need these different assets. And to see that access now is really cool.
and also, I mean,
Yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew I heard those words, those magic words, bro. Lending and borrowing.
Biggest thing, bro. The biggest thing in the entire planet, where all the liquidity lies.
We've been trying to tell people, brother. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's only so many that you can wake up and take with you to the top of the totem pole. What's up, Aquaman? How have you been, bro?
I've been good, bro. I've been good. It's not a sunny day over here in California. It's been raining the last 2 days, but yeah, I've been good for the most part. How about yourself?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I can't complain, brother. The link up was a phenomenal success, and back ready to be back at my computer in my home office. And so weird, as much as you want to go on vacation as an entrepreneur and a grinder, daily grinder, once you do, you get to a point on the vacation when you're like, all right, now I just want to go back to the grind, you know? So
Facts, bro.
definitely met that moment, but now I'm back in action, and it just feels good to have accomplished and met so many good, amazing people over the past week. But yeah, brother, today we're going to cook it the fudge up. This is going to be a great call today for you guys listening in.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a banger.
Okay. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Wealth 28 Club podcast. I'm your host, CyberX, here with my co-host, Mr. Aquaman. In today's video breakdown, we are going to be thoroughly addressing a video clip that was sent to us via one of our private community members that has over 61,000 people led to believe something that is entirely not true. And so in today's video breakdown, we want to first address anybody's concerns that this might be a bashing video breakdown, or you know, anything aggressive towards another influencer or the content that they're putting out. I'm squashing it all now. It's not. I have no negative sentiment or whatever it is towards this individual that you guys see on the screen right now, but I do have an issue when there's misinformation spreading on the internet that is easily avoidable, right? With thorough research, thorough understanding of what you're getting involved in, and an analysis that is accurate, up to date via documents, panel discussions, ongoing announcements, white papers, data in the form of liquidity, DeFi, TVL, all these things, all these metrics that you guys can go and look at yourselves. I want to really thoroughly address something that was said in one of Jay Claver's lives, because it was brought to our attention. And I feel like nobody on the internet really has the audacity to go out there and do this, but we do here. Why? Because we believe in accurate and valid information. And some of the concepts and the points that Jake had made in this are entirely incorrect And I firmly believe that this particular video breakdown from this gentleman here should be taken down, considering that now it has over 61,000 views. And so we're going to go into detail and we're going to rebuttal word for word. We're not going to give any opinions. Like I said, we don't dislike this individual. We're honestly kind of just neutral about this when it comes in terms of a personal thing. We're not going to put any personal opinions behind what we're going to share with you guys today. It's going to be all fact-based information that you guys can go check yourselves. And I think that this should be done in the space more often, because you have people like this said gentleman here that are charging people thousands upon thousands of dollars for services, but they don't even know things in which they are talking about in the space that are like super easily solvable if you just read a document, which is honestly concerning. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to play this video clip for you guys. Myself and Akko are going to do some due justice for the community, the Metallicus ecosystem at large, because we have the influence to do so. And we're going to prove that what this gentleman here said is false. It's very false information, and it's honestly misleading. And I don't know how people wake up in the morning and do this. But again, to each his own. I'm not here to give you guys my personal opinions. I'm here to show you all the facts. So I'm going to let this video clip run through, and then we're going to pause, we're going to backtrack, and we're going to go thoroughly through everything that this person said, showing you guys that this information is false. And actually the Metallicus ecosystem, the Metal blockchain, the XPR network are all projects in this space, all things happening in this space that you should be paying attention to. And in my personal opinion, now I'll add my personal opinion, not something that you should be ignoring. Okay, it's actually the inverse, something that you should be putting at the top of your to-do list to freaking research and dive into detail on. And hopefully after today's thorough, thought-provoking, and detailed analysis breakdown, you guys feel the same way, which is my goal here. Not to show you all this project, but just to show you guys that there is a huge amount of misinformation and misinterpretation on this project and this whole ecosystem from influencers that have a say in this space. Over 124,000 subscribers, 61,000 views on this video. I just feel, as an influencer myself, that it is our job not to mislead and misinterpret people. And this video is a clear example of that at its finest. Excuse me. So Aqua, I don't know if you had anything to say before we jump into this clip and I roll this clip of this live that Jay Claver had addressed when asked the question, what's your opinion about XPR Network? Did you have anything to say before we rise into this video here?
No, I just agree with everything you just said right now. But I definitely will have a lot to say after we start sharing, you know, what he had said in these clips. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing, to be honest with you.
So, all right, let's get into this. I apologize for like almost hacking at a lung there. I don't know why my throat gave out a second ago, but yeah, so let's play this video clip. Let's just listen to what this gentleman here has to say. Again, no hard feelings against this person, but because we're heavily involved in the Metallicus ecosystem, I do feel like it's up to other researchers to do the due diligence to show that this is misinformation, and it needs to be addressed. And hopefully Jay can come out and he can revise maybe what he said or adjust his opinion or actually claim that this is nothing but a personal opinion. And yeah, I mean, just fix the wrongdoing. This is crazy. So let's just listen to what he has to say here.
Jake, what's your opinion about XPR? Man, he says no one talks about them. I've only done research and seen them. They seem to be some heavy hitters. Look, I haven't talked to them in a long time, and I'll just give you the full deal. We met with them early on and brought them an opportunity to tokenize like a lot of assets on their network. Their total DEX right now, the most throughput that they could put through their, like the liquidity on their network, 1.4 million. It's nothing. There's no liquidity in it. There's no way it will work for the use case that they are espousing that it would work for. I want it to work. I want them to be successful. I don't like their marketing tactics. I don't like that Marshall won't actually answer any questions and just blocks people when they ask about just normal stuff that he should be able to answer. We met with their team, like I said, early on, and they wouldn't tokenize pretty much anything that we brought to them. I don't know why you need a layer 0. Like, just a lot of the stuff they do doesn't make much sense. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope people make a bunch of money with XPR. But why would you name it XPR if it came out after XRP? Like, why wouldn't you just come up with something original and not like try to play it? I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my man.
Okay, so like I said, I'm going to refrain from giving you all my personal opinion, and I do have a personal opinion. I will leave that private for myself and a few individuals because, again, it's not worth giving you guys my personal opinion because that doesn't solve anything. What I would instead like to do is word for word take what Jake said and show you guys that it is false information. First, right off the bat, he had claimed to have talked to people from the Metallicus ecosystem or the XPR network. Now, I'm not going to share my screen via this confirmation, but understand that myself and Aqua are part of a private TDBN community that Marshall Hayner is a part of. Now, Marshall Hayner did not directly confirm nor deny this, but when asked the question in that private chat that's rising, was the claim that Jake made about speaking to people from the XPR and Metallicus ecosystem accurate? That was confirmed to be false. Okay, so I'll leave that there. That was the first claim that Jake had made here. Now, I don't have the credentials or the connections to go and show you guys the meetings that might have happened behind the scenes that Jake here claims to have had. So that is probably the only thing that I could say here in today's video breakdown, that I can't give you guys physical proof that you can go pull up yourselves. So that you will have to, again, address on your own behalf via your own belief system, whether you think that that's accurate or not. Based off the communities, like I said, the private chat that I'm in, that where there's high-end people in the Metallicus ecosystem involved in it, that confirm that this rising, that is a false claim. You guys can take that for what it is. The second thing that he mentioned here is he went on to say their total, and this is, I quote directly from Jake, I have it written down. He said that their total DEX right now, the most throughput they can put through their liquidity on their network is 1.4 million. There's no liquidity in it. So just here, take a second and listen. So that way you guys, again, don't think I'm making any of this up. And then we're going to go in and we're going to show you all that is the farthest thing from the truth.
He says no one talks about them. I've only done research and seen them. They seem to be some heavy hitters. I haven't talked to them in a long time, and I'll just give you the full deal. We met with them early on and brought them an opportunity to tokenize like a lot of assets on their network. Their total DEX right now, the most throughput that they could put through their, like the liquidity on their network, 1.4 million. It's nothing. There's no liquidity in it. There's no way it will work for the use case that they are espousing that it would work for.
Okay, so let's go into the details and let's, again, disprove that this is a false claim. So first off, he said that $1.4 million is all the liquidity that they have. Actually, if you go over to the Metallicus trading platform, today alone, the 24-hour trading volume on XMD supersedes $1.4 million and is currently at a daily trading volume of $1.6 million. And that's just in 24-hour volume. If we come over here to the DeFi TVL right now on the XPR network, you can see right here on my screen via DeFi Llama tracking capabilities, it supersedes the $1.4 million threshold that Jake had claimed and currently sits at $69 million in total value locked. If we go over to the Metallicus lending or loan protocol that is built on the XPR network, you can see right now there is an active TVL of around $59 million actively flowing through the loan protocol. So again, I'm not here to scrutinize Jake or any of those things, because I know that there's going to be those people in the comments, oh my God, you guys are talking shit. Blah, blah, blah. No, we're not here to do that. What we are here to do is provide valued content that people can gravitate towards that is not misinformation, right? That's what researchers should strive to do, especially with the size influence that Jake has. He should wake up in the morning and project to his followers accurate information. So I just showed you guys that the claim that they can only handle $1.4 million was superseded just within their daily trading volume on Metallicus trading right now. So laid that to rest. The second thing that Jake had said in this is that there's no way that XPR Network will work for the use cases that they are espousing it will work for. So I challenge Jake to actually know what those use cases are. I challenge you guys as our audience here in the CyberX Wealth 28 Club to know what those use cases are. So let me show you how you can go find out what those are, because it seems like Jake does not know that. Let me tell you all what they are. You come over here to xprnetwork.org. You scroll down to the bottom of the website. It's very easy to do this, and you click the documentation page. Once you open the documentation page, you are presented with this white paper v2.0 XPR Network. And right at the top in the abstract portion of this document, it says, in this white paper, we introduced the XPR Network, a fast, scalable layer 1 blockchain that can run decentralized applications and make free and instantaneous payments. At its core, XPR Network is designed to communicate with banks, payment processors, and traditional fiat gateways through XPR sign-in requests. Additionally, XPR Network makes use of decentralized identity with human-readable names, NFT token wrapping, a decentralized stablecoin index, XMD, which I just showed you guys the daily volume trading at $1.6 million, and DeFi lending, trading, and governance. So right there at the beginning of this document, it literally tells you what XPR Network is designed for, right? So now let's go in and prove again what Jake said, because that's what I'm here to do, is false, because he specifically said there's no way that it will work for the use cases that they're espousing it will work for. No, it's happening in real time. It's already being utilized for the, again, use cases it was designed for. I highlighted here DeFi lending and trading. Well, I just showed you guys the trading activity right now in terms of daily volume is $1.6 million, right? That's huge. That's just in XMD alone. Okay. If you come over here, because the second use case right here mentions DeFi lending. Well, if we again go back over to the Metallicus lending platform, I just showed you guys there's $59 million active TVL on the protocol right now. And actually, as a matter of fact, Ripple XRP is one of the leading assets that people are taking over to the loan protocol, lending out to earn yield and borrowing against. Whereas $22 million in TVL on just XRP alone sits on the loan protocol, right? It's also facilitating lending and borrowing to other major digital assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and HBAR, including Dogecoin and Litecoin as well. So this is one of the use cases that it says it's designed for, and here is a living, breathing example that it is for a fact facilitating that use case. Now, if that's not enough for you, we go back to the document, and it says here in the document that XPR Network is designed to communicate with banks, payment processors, and traditional fiat gateways through XPR signing requests. Additionally, XPR Network makes use of decentralized identity with human-readable names. And so a lot of people don't understand, but here we have the WebAuth wallet. So remember, it's designed to integrate into banks, so on and so forth. Well, check this out. WebAuth wallet's unified account model. You guys can go through, you can read all of this and what the WebAuth wallet does, how it's built on the XPR network, But what I want to show you guys is this document right here from metalblockchain.org. And it says here, Metallicus' availability on Temenos exchange further extends our commitment to the banking community and enables Temenos customers to easily reap the benefits of Metal Blockchain and WebAuth Wallet, along with MetalPay API. We look forward to leveraging the power of the Temenos platform to help us achieve our business goals. The WebAuth secure wallet stands at the forefront of biometric transaction authentication, utilizing the secure enclave technology for frictionless payments and single sign-on or SSO solutions. This innovative approach enhances security and user experience, ensuring seamless and secure transactions across platforms. So here it is talking about how Temenos platform is directly utilizing WebAuth secure wallet and how it stands at the forefront of biometric transaction authentication. Well, if again you come over here, WebAuth is a new industry standard for device authentication, identity, payment processing, and cryptocurrency transactions for Web3, and it is built on the XPR network. So saying that XPR network is not facilitating its use case being right here, XPR network is designed to communicate with banks, payment processors, and traditional fiat gateways through XPR signing requests. Additionally, XPR network makes use of decentralized identity with human readable names. It's doing that in real time. If you guys don't know who Temenos is, well, Temenos is a Swift software company that provides a platform for core banking and digital banking and payment software to financial institutions worldwide. Temenos cloud-native AI-driven banking software is trusted by over 950 banks. And here you guys can see a direct mention of the WebAuth wallet in collaboration with Temenos' platform and Metallicus. So again, yet another example of how XPR network is being utilized at scale by organizations that are integrated with financial institutions via its use case and its design. I can't stress enough, we're not here to bash anybody, but just to show that the proof is in the pudding if you just do the research. It's not hard to read these documents. Now, another thing that XPR network is designed for, it says here, directly on the loan protocol docs, where it mentions XPR network and its ecosystem, it says XPR network was created to bridge the gap between TradFi and DeFi, creating a way for blockchains to interact directly with bank accounts, vendors, merchants, and everywhere in between. It is built to be fast and free. XPR network imagines a world where push transactions minimize the risk for fraud, where currencies move freely between accounts, and where the type of money being used for a purchase is inconsequential. And if you come over here and you just read, so it talks about it being utilized for speed, efficiency. Well, XPR network has a 0.05 second block time and asynchronous transaction processing. XPR network handles 4,000 transactions per second, making it ideal for real-world applications. If you come over to the XRP ledger documentation, it clearly says that the XRP ledger is only scalable to 1,500 transactions per second. Therefore, making the documentation stating what XPR network is designed for, XPR network is faster than the XRP ledger. Now, this is not a pissing contest by any means, but I'm just here to show you guys that if you're an XRP maxi, like I myself used to be in the past before I started to expand my horizon and diversify my portfolio, you think that XRP and the XRP ledger is the know-all, be-all, the holy grail of all the blockchains, when in reality, there's blockchains out there that exist right now that are even more fast and more scalable than the XPR network. However, XPR network, in a sense, in terms of its documentation and what it can achieve, is faster. So don't ignore these things, right? Actually add them to your awareness and understand that there is not going to be one blockchain to rule them all, and diversification is very important, right? XPR network and XRP are not competitors. As I just showed you guys on the MetalX platform right now on Loan Protocol, XPR network is actually helping XRP holders. They're helping XRP holders gain access to liquidity, lending their digital assets, posting their digital assets as collateral, which is one of the biggest use cases in traditional finance. And XPR network is facilitating that use case clearly at scale. With $59 million in total TVL, you guys cannot make this stuff up. All right. So another thing that in the documentation, just to show you guys that XPR network is facilitating its use case, it mentions here that it has and gives the ability to run decentralized applications. It says it right here, layer 1 blockchain that can run decentralized applications. Well, for those of you guys who don't know, it is doing exactly that. We come over here and you can read about this Snipverse platform. Snipverse is an innovative Web3 social media platform designed specifically for crypto enthusiast projects. It aims to create a vibrant and engaging community by leveraging the Proton blockchain, i.e. the XPR network. What does it allow individuals to do? Snipverse focuses on catering to the needs of crypto enthusiasts and projects. The platform provides a dedicated space for discussions, new updates, project launches, and collaborative opportunities, fostering a community that is highly engaged and knowledgeable. user authentication and verification. At the heart of Snipverse authentication and verification system lies Proton's web auth wallet technology, which is, again, we know, built with XPR Network. This revolutionary authentication method eliminates the need for traditional usernames and passwords. It significantly reduces the risk of hacking and impersonation and ensures a bot-free environment. Then, individuals that utilize Snipverse are rewarded. Snipverse rewards users for their contributions to the crypto community. By utilizing Snip coins, users can earn rewards for sharing valuable insights, participating in discussions, and promoting projects and providing meaningful feedback. So again, I know that this stuff is boring. I get it. It's all the crap that people don't want to go and read and look at, but I just showed you guys word verbatim how some influencer that's out there that has thousands of followers is telling people that XPR Network is not facilitating its use cases and what it was designed for directly in its documentation. And I just showed you guys 3 examples of how it is doing exactly that, which is my goal here. I'm not here to pop smoke or say this is better than the other or your opinions suck or don't. I'm just here to show you guys documented proof that anybody can go and check themselves. Okay. So with that being said, let's go back to another thing that Jake here had said. All right. Because again, we have to understand that Metallicus is not like, and Marshall Hayner is not like all these other CEOs and all these other crypto native organizations that like the hype. Metallicus doesn't really like the hype. They like to stay in the shadows. They like to build, and they like to make sure that what they do has a huge historical impact. And they are doing that for a fact if you are paying attention. So even though this seems a little bit more opinionated, it can still be disproved. So take a second here and let's just listen.
I want it to work. I want them to be successful. I don't like their marketing tactics. I don't like that Marshall won't actually answer any questions and just blocks people when they ask about just normal stuff that he should be able to answer.
Okay, so Jake here said that he doesn't like Metallicus's marketing tactics. Yet, if you go look at their marketing tactics, like I said, they are the type of marketing tactics that scream high impact. Look at the Metallicus YouTube just as an example. In the last 5 months alone, Marshall Hayner has been on an interview panel discussion alongside 2 congressmen, okay? And he has appeared on the NASDAQ along with another high-end representative, Irina Birkin, also appearing on the NASDAQ within the last 5 months. So what do you mean you don't like his marketing tactics? His marketing tactics scream that he's on panel discussions on a reputable headline freaking news channel like the NASDAQ, right? Like what the heck? Coupled with speaking alongside congressmen and women. What's wrong what do you not like about those types of marketing contacts? You know, that's huge.
Facts.
And so, you know, again, more so of a personal preference side of things there, but just to show you guys that he is on stage answering questions because he doesn't spend his time answering retail traders' questions on Twitter. He does answer questions when they're thrown at him, but via congressional people and people that actually have valid, interview credentials in this space, right? He's not just going to go on some interview with some random person when he doesn't have time for that. I mean, at the end of the freaking day, right? And that's just facts. You can't be mad at somebody for that because they don't want to sit down and answer all your questions when they're too busy sitting in on panel discussions with congressmen. You know?
Yeah. This screams quality relationships. I mean, let alone the Metallicus website too. I don't know if you're going to share that, but I mean,
I wasn't going to, but what's on it?
Just the way they've organized everything. You know, I go to other projects and I'm like looking at roadmaps that are kind of all over the place. I go to the Metallicus website and I can easily digest, okay, dang, this is the entire ecosystem. This is what this does. This is what that does. It's so cut and dry and so easy to consume. I mean, I don't know. It's not hard. You just gotta apply yourself and go and look. You know what I mean? Because I feel like this is coming from an opinion that did not go and look at all.
No, he didn't go and look. 110%. He did not go and look. Again, I don't want to make any personal judgment on Jake's behalf, but this next video clip where he said that he doesn't know why you need a layer 0 proves that he has done no research on XPR Network at all whatsoever, because XPR Network is not a layer 0. So again, remember the question that was asked to Jake on his live call was, what's your opinion on XPR Network? And here he says he doesn't know why you need a layer 0. Don't take that from me. Listen to what he says here directly.
Ask about just normal stuff that he should be able to answer. We met with their team, like I said, early on, and they wouldn't tokenize pretty much anything that we brought to them. I don't know why you need a layer 0. Like, just a lot of the stuff they do doesn't make much sense.
Okay, so first off, just to educate our viewers, layer 1s and layer 0s are completely two different things. And let's just actually take a second and educate you guys on why layer 0s are so important. And here, directly on the Metallicus.com website, like Akka was saying, you can find all this information, which just goes to show that, again, somebody who claims to have all these credentials in the space, talking on stage at events, doesn't know what a layer 0 is. I don't know. I'm just saying it's kind of weird. Again, I'm not going to give any personal opinions, but right here it says, XPR Network is a fast, scalable layer 1 blockchain that can run decentralized applications and make free instantaneous payments at its core. XPR Network is designed to communicate with banks, which I already showed you guys is payment processors and traditional fiat gateways through XPR signing requests, i.e. XSR. Metal blockchain on the opposite side is most likely what Jake was referring to, because Metal blockchain is a layer 0 blockchain that allows any chain to deploy and find consensus through the Snow protocol introduced by Avalanche, because it is a fork of Avalanche, allowing it to run on a highly efficient model of proof of stake, eliminating the need for proof of work. So maybe he slipped up and, I don't know, was referring to Metal and kind of got confused, but XPR Network, ladies and gentlemen, is not a layer 0 blockchain. So why do you need layer 0 blockchains? Again, because Jake said, I don't know why you need layer 0 block. Well, let me educate you, Jake. Okay. You can come over here and just read a simple document. This is from July 2025. As blockchain ecosystems grow increasingly diverse, with networks like Ethereum, Solana, Cosmos, and Avalanche, each offering their own architecture, the need for cross-chain communication and shared infrastructure has never been more urgent. Well, this is where layer 0s come in. Layer 0s represent the foundational layer beneath existing blockchains. Unlike layer 1s, Bitcoin and Ethereum, which operate as individual networks, layer 0 solutions aim to connect them all, providing the underlying architecture for a truly interoperable and scalable and modular blockchain world. In traditional blockchain architecture, we often refer to layer 1s as the base blockchains like Ethereum, Solana, which handle transactions and security. Layer 2 scaling solutions are built on top of layer 1s like Arbitrum, Optimism, that aim to increase speed and reduce cost. Layer 0s, however, operate beneath this stack. It provides the infrastructure to launch multiple blockchains or layer 1s. This is freaking important, y'all, okay? It's important because this is happening in real time on the Metal blockchain, where these banks, these institutions, these credit unions are going to be launching their own stablecoins. They're going to be launching their own blockchains, and they're going to do it on Metal. They're already doing it on Metal if you guys haven't been paying attention, but we're going to show you those fundamentals today. So layer 0s allow for the launch of multiple blockchains or layer 1s. They enable secure cross-chain communication, and they allow shared security, data, and liquidity across different ecosystems. In short, a layer 0 is the internet of blockchains, a meta layer that facilitates the modular interconnected blockchain networks. So to sum it up and just answer Jake's, confusion on why you need a layer 0. Well, if we come over here, Marshall Hayner recently said, every credit union, every bank, every financial institution, every fintech platform will have their own blockchain and stablecoin. And they will need a layer 0 to do that. They will run on Metal blockchain, fully interoperable with real-time instant settlement 24/7 globally. Now, back in July, I was like, this seems like a pretty cocky thing to say. But then fast forward to today, and this is happening in real time. This is actually a really great presentation of a layer 0 blockchain. You guys can see here this picture, this infographic that Marshall Hayner had posted out. And it just goes to show the stack and where the layer 0 blockchain sits, which is underneath of the entire infrastructure. It's the architecture of this entire layer of Web3, right? But then if we come over here, showing that what Marshall Hayner said back in July, that every credit union, every bank, they're going to launch their own stablecoin, they're going to launch their own blockchain, and they're going to use Metal. Well, he wasn't capping, y'all. He was not capping. This just took place September 16, 2025, and is a historical moment in crypto history, but everybody's still fading Metallicus, right? There's no other freaking blockchain right now that's doing this, y'all. It's just Metal. This is huge. In a landmark move for U.S. banking, St. Cloud Financial Credit Union, together with Metallicus, the core developer of the Metal blockchain and a leader in blockchain tech for financial institutions, and DeLand, CUSO, which stands for Credit Union Service Organization, will issue Cloud Dollar, or CLD USD, the nation's first, I repeat, the nation's first credit union issued stablecoin, as a milestone in St. Cloud's digital asset vault launch. This is physical proof that what Marshall Hayner said back in July was not cap and is 110% accurate and happening in real time, and will most likely continue to scale via some of the information that Aqua knows about trust lines and all that things behind the scenes, which he shared before, but was asked to be, have it taken down. Okay. Like, if you guys are not paying attention to this, it is because you're most likely distracted by influencers that are, again, super ignorant on what's happening. So, here in this post, Jake also said that he doesn't like a lot of the stuff that they do. It doesn't make sense. Take a second and listen.
Like, just a lot of the stuff they do doesn't make much sense. And again, I hope.
Okay, so a lot of stuff that they do doesn't make sense, but let's look at the stuff that they do, right? Because it makes total sense. So remember how I shared this piece with you guys on how a layer 0 allows these banks and institutions to launch multiple blockchains, right? And I just showed you guys physical proof how a credit union is using Metal blockchain to do exactly that, right? They're launching their own stablecoin. This is huge. Let's go and look at the things that Metallicus has been doing. So just first, right off the bat, obviously, of course, the recent announcement was St. Cloud. Okay, this is just from September 16th, but let's just go back like 2 to 3 months, maybe even back, let's say within the last year. Let's just look at what they've done. Okay, so this is from September 2nd, 2025. Metallicus was named one of the finalists for 2 2025 CU Times Luminaries Awards. And right here, what were they picked for? What were they chosen for? Well, Metallicus was named a finalist for its custom stablecoins for credit unions, a first of its kind solution enabling credit unions to issue branded compliant stablecoins. These stablecoins allow credit unions to explore how to strengthen deposit retention and member loyalty, enable real-time secure peer-to-peer and A2A payments, and unlock new revenue opportunities through tokenized deposits. Because yield is going to be the new sexy in the future, and these banks and institutions are going to need a way to lend out stablecoins, borrow, post them as collateral. And again, Metallicus is enabling all of that. All of that. This is again from September 2025. So what do you mean, Jake, you don't like what they're doing? Doesn't make sense. That makes perfect sense. We come over here. Frank Mazza. Who's Frank Mazza? The director of blockchain for institutions and fintechs at Metal Blockchain, posted in August 2025. I'm honored to share that I've been selected to serve on the 2025-2026 Board of Advisory Group for the Faster Payments Council. That doesn't make sense to you? I don't know. Makes sense to me. Seems pretty cool to me, right? Like, that's pretty crazy. Again,
pretty loud and clear, bro.
Whatever. Moving on. What's another thing that they did? Well, they partnered with Bonify. If you guys don't know who Bonify is, let's just go in and again read. And remember, I said this will be within the last year in terms of fundamentals. This is from December 2024. So within the last year. Metallicus, a leader in blockchain tech for banking, has announced its acquisition of fintech Bonify, a credit union service organization formerly known as CU Ledger. The two entities will establish a CUSO, allowing blockchain-based products to be leveraged by credit unions that deploy on the Digital Banking Network, or TDBN. Shout out to TDBN community. An open-source blockchain bank protocol developed by Metallicus. The acquisition enables more than 70 of Bonify's current credit union customers to leverage the capabilities of Metal Blockchain, the Digital Banking Network's Layer 0 blockchain. Bonify's has made great progress in bridging blockchain tech to credit unions, and we are excited to partner with them, said Marshall Hayner, CEO of Metallicus. With our blockchain development expertise and Bonafy's deep experience in the credit union sector, we are excited to bring more financial institutions on chain. So again, he said a lot of the stuff that they do doesn't make sense. What's not to make sense about this makes pretty damn good sense to me. And for those of you guys who don't know, Marshall Hayner was on this podcast here on TradeTex, NASDAQ, and listen close to what he says, because this blew my mind when I heard it. He directly says that we have not really until now, until what Metallicus and Bonafy are working on together, seen the ability for credit unions or banks to have direct integration into the blockchain. Okay. So with this partnership between Metallicus and Bonafy, Marshall's claiming that for the first time ever, banks and financial institutions can directly connect and integrate into blockchain. And this is it. This is the first time ever. So think about that. That must mean that everything before this partnership is smoke. Is smoke. Right?
Yeah.
Listen to what he says here.
I am bringing on those 80 credit unions. What are some of the more tangible challenges you can tell us about?
Yeah, so I would say, blockchain and banking have kind of been in two different camps for a while, where you have your MetalPay or you have your Coinbase or your Kraken, and you move your funds to that intermediary, and then you can go to the blockchain. We haven't really until what Metallicus and Bonafy are working on together have seen the ability for credit unions or banks to have this direct integration to the blockchain. And in order to get there, we need to have guardrails. We need to have better systems in place. And something
And bringing on those.
Right. So you guys heard that directly from Marshall Hayner. I'm not capping when I say that, but that is a huge statement that for the first time ever with the partnership between Metallicus and Bonafy, that was the partnership that for the first time allowed banks to really integrate blockchain into core infrastructure. Take that for what you will, but that encouraged me to start to do more research and should motivate you guys to do more research as well. While we're on this topic of, not understanding what Metallicus does, going off the claim that a lot of stuff that they do doesn't make sense, according to Jake. Well, check this out. This is from August 20th, 2025. In response to a rapidly evolving stablecoin market and shifting regulatory landscape, Valera, the nation's premier payments credit union service organization and integrated financial technology solution provider, has launched a digital asset lab. This collaborative effort will help position credit unions as leaderships in stablecoins and digital asset spaces through industry engagement. And the first platform partner announced was Metallicus. It says it right here. Metallicus, a pioneering fintech bridging traditional finance with advanced solutions built on blockchain tech. As a strategic investor in Metallicus, Valera is partnering with the organization to explore how its multi-purpose blockchain infrastructure enables quick learning, testing, and building of solutions most important to Valera's digital asset lab efforts. And if you don't know who Valera is, again, a simple Google search will solve that. It says right here, Valera is a premier payments CUSO, again, credit union service organization in the US, and integrated fintech solution provider serving more than 4,000 freaking financial institutions, y'all. Come on now. Come on now, people. So what do you mean, Jake, that a lot of the stuff that they do doesn't make sense? Because I just showed you all the fundamentals that you should have read this year, my brother. You should have read this year.
And if you take the Temenos 950 relationships, add that to the 4,000, plus the other 80 that they mentioned from the credit unions, man.
Last but not least, because I want to end this rant here, and I want to actually get into some really good juicy information. This isn't even the juicy information for you guys yet today, honest to God. This is just a warm-up, because myself and Aqua are going to stream this Metallicus and D-Land partnership panel discussion that Marshall Hayner and the CEO, I believe, of D-Land was on, and we're going to just talk about it. But this was probably the most embarrassing part here of what was said in this clip by this influencer. And he mentioned that he didn't understand, why they named it XPR, and claimed that they did it to mimic XRP, which if anybody believes that, they shouldn't be in crypto. Like, period. They shouldn't be in crypto because they don't understand ticker symbols. I mean, just so wow. All right, I'm gonna just play this, and then I want to again clear the air and tell you guys why XRP is named XRP, why XPR is named XPR, so that we all have a mutual understanding, and there's again no misinformation floating around on the internet, because that will really keep people from taking a look deeper into the XPR network. They will be like, oh my gosh, it's like trying to copy and replace XRP, when in reality, XPR network is leading the charge in helping enhance capabilities, DeFi capabilities for XRP holders. It's like weird that nobody in the XRP community understands that in detail, that you never have to sell your XRP when XRP goes to $1,000 and you want to buy yourself a nice house or a Lamborghini because of the XPR network. What do I mean by that? When that happens, when that day comes, which I firmly believe one day in the freaking future, it will, not January 2026, but I do believe in the future at some point in time, maybe 2030 and beyond, it happens, right? You'll be able to take your XRP that's worth $1,000, post it as collateral, lend it, borrow against it in stable coins, and then take those stable coins and remain liquid in the DeFi ecosystem to go out and buy yourself that something nice, right? Never having to sell your XRP, never having to sell your crypto to get stuck back in the traditional fiat system, and XPR network unlocks that, all right?
Hope I'm wrong. I hope people make a bunch of money with XPR. But why would you name it XPR if it came out after XRP? Like, why wouldn't you just come up with something original and not like try to play it? I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my thing. I personally stay away from it. But again,
what you have to understand is that people will stay away from things that they're ignorant about. And this entire clip that I just showed you guys in this breakdown proves that said individual is 110% ignorant on what he's talking about. This is crazy embarrassing, honest to God, in my personal opinion, but just wow. So let's get into this real fast so that way you guys understand why XRP is called XRP and why XPR is called XPR, because it has nothing to do with them copying anything whatsoever. XRP. So the X in XRP does not officially stand for an acronym, but it follows the ISO 4217 currency code standard for non-national currencies, such as gold, or XAU, which is the ticker symbol for gold, or Bitcoin, XBT. The prefix X signifies that XRP is a neutral supranational asset, not tied to any single country's fiat currency. The RP is a part of the symbol that is derived from the early name for the digital asset, which is Ripple. So the X means that it's cross-currency, it's cross-jurisdiction, it's not owned or gated by any one jurisdiction. The RP again then stems from Ripple. That's it. Simple. If we go over to XPR, it's the same exact thing. The X is again so that it is in line with the cross currency. There's no jurisdiction that owns it. It can move from here to there, and there's no jurisdiction that overheads it, right? Simple. That's what the X means, cross jurisdictional. The PR and XPR stands for Proton. That's it. Proton network. There's no, oh, XPR tried to steal Ripple's XRP. Like, for everybody that previously thought that that was the case, you should have just had an aha moment like, wow, now I should probably research it, because all the XRP enthusiasts and maxis that are like, oh my God, they're trying to steal XRP. No, that is a 110% made up bullshit and shows so much ignorance on the behalf of the person that says something like that. Like, it's insane. Again, to each his own. Be careful who you follow. Be careful the information that you soak up on the internet. Today's video breakdown, again, was not to bash anybody or discredit anybody that makes content on the internet, but I'm not going to let that much disinformation and misinformation stand on the internet, because the entire sequence of what Jake had said in that response that was sent to us and asked to us to do a full breakdown like this on, to show that literally everything in that statement was incorrect and false. I don't know what to say after that. You guys can take that information for what it is, so you choose to take it. But just again, don't believe every influencer that you see on the internet. This is a prime example of why now is the time to just go do your own research. Be involved in a community that does this type of thorough, in-depth research and doesn't have any type of like agenda or whatever the case may be. Just thorough research. CyberX has researchers from all over the globe, all times of the day, 24/7, dropping documents from the source, research from the source, panel discussions from the source. If you guys want sourced information and not opinionated, biased bullcrap, come lock in with us in the CyberX community, and you guys will see that 90% of the information on the internet is just bullcrap. It's bullcrap. It's a bunch of bullcrap. Honest to God. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the first portion of that video. Sorry, Aqua, that I didn't give you a lot of time to talk. I wanted to go back if you wanted to share anything about the identity use case that is in the document on XPR.
Yeah, I mean, let's see here. I think the one thing to really just point out for everybody that's tapping in is that Marshall, hold on, let me share my screen. Marshall has a patent. He actually has 3 patents, but 1 out of the 3 is currently active. And the one that's active is this universal payment messaging using public blockchains and identity platform. So pretty much he has the patent, him and Glenn Marin, who is a co-founder of Metallicus as well. He's part of this patent. This patent in a nutshell, let me share my screen on what Grok had said, right? So let's see here. I asked Grok, I said, does Marshall Hayner have the patent to give his tech, or hold on, does Marshall Hayner have the patent that gives his tech the ability to message money on blockchain? And it says, yes, Marshall Hayner as co-inventor is associated with the patent application that enables messaging money on blockchain through Metallicus, specifically the patent application, which is that patent I just showed you guys, universal payment messaging using public blockchain and identity platform, describes systems and methods for universal payment messaging. This includes receiving an on-chain blockchain demand message and embedding the identity value of a user or a business entity in an on-chain smart contract. So pretty much if you have the WebAuth wallet, you're going to understand what I'm saying. So like you have an @name, right, that you chose. That @name that is like the same thing as like our profile name here on X or our profile name over on Instagram. Well, this patent includes that and any other type of payment messaging on blockchain through this wallet. So I feel like this is something else too to really, really pay attention to, because there is a thing called patent infringement, right? If you go against this. But the most beautiful part about this though is that the WebAuth wallet is not boxing these institutions, these banks, these credit unions, these fintechs out. The WebAuth wallet is customizable. It's going to say, you know, fintech 123 wallet, or it's going to say ABC credit union wallet, and it's fully customizable, and they're going to be able to adopt this wallet and all of its features and everything that it's, all the use cases that it can do, and use it as their own. Like that was one of the first aha moments that I had when I came into this ecosystem. And that was what like really, I was like, yo, I've never heard of this being in this game. You know, we hear about white labeling outside of this game in other, you know, other businesses, but like this being white labelable, I feel like is the cherry on top. And everybody just let that marinate. If it doesn't make sense, try to make sense of it. And once you do make sense of it, you're like, dang, all right, well, the WebAuth wallet is not boxing these people out. They could adopt this wallet and use it as their own. So, yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more. And honest to God, you know, like I said, we said at the beginning of this call, this is not to discredit any influencers' content by any means. But, you know, I think honest to God, as researchers, as content creators as a whole, you know, Jake, if you're listening, brother, we should encourage to fact check each other like this. This should be good because, again, my goal, and I know Aqua's goal, and our goal at the CyberX platform is to encourage people to further their education, good, valid content, right? And not misinformation. And when things like this are misconstrued, it's not healthy for the growth of this space as a whole. It's just not, you know? And we are in an age of misinformation, but we are also in a massive age of misinformation as well. And, it needs to be resolved. So, Jake, if you're listening to this, I encourage you to just take a step back and revisit some of the things that you said and understand that we are in an era where like it's not hard for people to just like Google some shit and be like, yo, this dude's lying. And that doesn't look good. It doesn't
Yeah.
look good. It doesn't look good for the services that you offer, bro. And it doesn't look good for the knowledge that you should have on this space. Like determining the difference between a layer 1 and a layer 0 is kind of like some basic beginner, like crypto knowledge. Like, I'm just saying.
And to piggyback that, as content creators, we need to have the humility to be able to say, hey, you know what? I actually don't know enough information to give feedback on that. As opposed to riding the wave of all of our followers and getting to our ego. I'm not saying that's what happened in his case, but you can go places because people are following you, making you feel all warm and fuzzy, and you start rambling off your opinion, and your opinion is just garbage, right? And I feel like, again, us as content creators, we have to have that humility to say, look, I don't know enough information to give feedback on that. But there's always this race of like, I knew it first. I know more than you. I've been in the game longer than you. And it's just like, bro, that is so immature, super immature to think like that. So that's what I have to say.
Agreed, 110%. Not to show you guys CyberX, but I'm going to do it anyways because we had somebody just hitting the messages, where do I find your guys' content? You guys and gals, I'm telling you all right now, deepest research team on the face of this internet, more documents, honest to God, than freaking Google probably has, because here in the United States on Google, there are some documents that I can't even find that the researchers find in the chat. Like our Discord is nuts. So, if you guys are interested, again, there's people that are like, oh, mentorships and paid communities aren't for us. That's fine. I get it. It's not for everybody. But if you are one of the types of people that's like, dang, these guys are spitting facts and I want to tap into the documents and the research they're tapped into, ladies and gentlemen, look at our crypto section alone in the research. You got regulation section, quantum, digital wallets, internet of bodies, on-chain data, digital banking, metaverse, DeFi, real world assets, and every single channel in here. Like today alone, you can see 13 messages in this channel, 25 messages in this channel, and it's all just documents. It's all just panel discussions and research. It's not opinionated. It's not the researchers in here like, oh, I think XRP is going to go to fucking $1,000 by January 2026. No, it's like all the panel discussions that you wish you could watch but don't have time to find. They're in this Discord. So go check out the Discord if you guys also want to lock in and you want to learn how to get your digital assets working for you. You guys can always head over to cyberxtrading.com, tap in with us in the Wealth 28 Club, see how we're getting our digital assets working for us, learn, educate yourself. Again, education is key in this new technological advanced transformation that we're going through. If you don't know how to get your digital assets working for you, you fall susceptible to selling back into fiat, getting stuck back in traditional finance, and honest to God, never financially freeing yourself. When you have the power to become your own bank in the now with these digital assets, you understand you don't need some bull market cycle to make money in crypto. You don't need to learn how to trade to make money in crypto. You just need to learn how to become your own bank. You need to learn how to do what the banks have been doing for hundreds of years, and that is posting digital assets as collateral. That's being liquidity providers, lending, borrowing, all these mechanics now that are available to us in DeFi. You can learn all that with the Wealth 28 Club. So you guys got two options to tap in with us in the CyberX community, whether it's you want the research, the technical analysis, the fundamentals, the institutional deltas, the insights that we gather. That's the Discord. Then you guys have the DeFi side of things in the Wealth 28 Club. If you guys want the free stuff, because we deliver so much free content, make sure that you're subscribed to both mine and Aqua's YouTube. I have a playlist over there with over 70 video breakdowns on yield generation and crypto alone. That entire playlist is free. You guys can obviously, of course, go through that on your own behalf. And then you obviously, of course, have the CyberX Twitter and my personal Twitter as well, along with Aqua's Twitter, where we're always dropping free information. So if the paid way is not for you, you guys have so much free stuff. The gems that we're dropping, podcasts like this one, can't stress enough. Now's the time to lock in. Aqua, bro, I have a couple of video clips that I want to share from this. But this podcast, bro, was phenomenal. So thank you so much for sharing this. This actually, so my pops came to visit, as you know, as of recent, and he listened to this podcast with me, and he even himself had an aha moment listening to this where he was like, yo, they're talking about credit unions. You know how many old people they're about to get like all the freaking baby boomers, everybody that's like in freaking credit unions. My dad was like, yo, this is like, I could play this to grandma and she would vibe with this, you know?
Hey, that's great, bro. That's super great. Yeah, this podcast is flame, super flame.
It was. Anybody that has not watched this, because we're not going to watch the entire thing today, because we've already been going on for about an hour and I have some things that I need to do to get off this call here shortly, but I do want to play some video clips. The first one being, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the DLAN CEO, correct? Or
that is correct. CIO. If I'm not
CIO.
mistaken. Yeah, CIO, right? Hold on, let me just double check here.
The bottom line is he's some high-end rep. He's either the CTO, CIO, or CEO of this organization.
Right.
I apologize for being ignorant. I could probably read the article and find out.
It's CIO. So his name is John Ungerlin, and it's CIO is his title.
Great. Then we have the interviewer, Michael Lawson. Shout out to the CU Broadcast for his platform streaming this. And then obviously, of course, we have the one, the only, the Marshall Hayner, right? So right here at about 5 minutes and 50 seconds, he goes on to talk about how they believe Metallicus will be the doorway to give clients stablecoins. Huge, considering why they partnered with DLAN, right? To give over 70 different credit unions access, the ability to build their own stablecoin. And here you have direct verbal confirmation from the DLAN CIO saying that they believe that that's going to be Metallicus that does this. So just take a second here and listen.
93% of companies are reevaluating their contact center technology.
It was really significant to find a partner that controlled their own destiny and had control of all the ingredients for offering a stablecoin to the credit union and banking market space. And we loved what Metallicus was doing on the stablecoin front and other with their blockchain and DEX capabilities. And we felt like they would be a great partner for us to help provide a doorway of stable coins and other services to usher our clients into the broader world of digital assets. So our solution that we refer to as coin to core provides a gateway to the world of the whole and really makes digital asset data processing part of the native operations of a financial institution, so that they don't have to build expertise and train their resources in how to do the digital asset stuff, you know, for lack of a better way of explaining it there, or for time's sake rather. But want to give a simple way to integrate these new money types into what financial institutions are already doing for their communities, and do things like stop deposit bleed, help them retain membership, help them put digital assets to work in their community. And we know stable coins like the ones supported by Metallicus are going to be an important part of that doorway that folks will walk through in that world of digital assets.
So I want to cut to the chase here. And John, I'm going to start with you on this one.
So you heard this gentleman here literally mentioned that he believes Metallicus is going to be the doorway to offering these stablecoin solutions to said financial institutional clients. This is huge. I mean, that's like crazy verbal confirmation. And then considering, it's like, look at Marshall Hayner's little smirk right here, bro. That's so crazy right there. Like, look at that. I don't know if I can zoom in. Hold on.
Did you see him drinking
As
his
well.
tea?
So what?
Huh?
He was drinking his tea as he was explaining it too, from that little teacup. He was
I just think it's funny because Marshall put here, you know, this post from back in July. Every credit union, every bank, every financial institution, every fintech platform will have their own blockchain and stablecoin, and they will run it all on Metal blockchain. And then here you have the CIO of DLAN saying, hey, we believe, you know, Metallicus is the gateway in order to do this.
and how about Marshall's most recent, you know, super bullish post where he said Metal will bring the first $1 trillion of stable coins on chain. He just said that September 8th. Like,
yeah. I want to go into the comments real quick because I can't stand people like this that don't even understand. Did you even watch the whole entire freaking video? Rewar 2377? Like, seriously, humble yourself for just a second. They said in the comments, I'm not sure either one of these two guys truly understands the difference between layer 1 and layer 0. They're trying to make it sound like it's revolutionary, but it's not. First off, no, we weren't. We're simply just trying to show that something that was said on the internet about XPR Network being a layer 0 is not. XPR Network is not a layer 0. It is a layer 1. And we were just trying to show the difference between the two, that Metal blockchain is the layer 0 and XPR Network is a layer 1. Not myself, not Aqua said, we know more about layer zeros, ones, twos, threes, fours, fives. Who gives a fuck than you? Like nobody's here having a pissing contest. We're just here to show you proof. Like if you don't like that, get the fuck off the call. Why are you even here?
Yeah. That's weird, bro. That's mad weird.
Mad weird. Like why do people have? I gotta stop. Let me turn the energy down, bro. Because
man, that's that native mindset.
It's
that's
weird,
like,
bro.
It's
Like
native, you know.
Why are people like that? Why? Just so creepy, bro. Imagine meeting people like that in person. They're just like weird, like always trying to like be the fucking guy in the room that's got to be the biggest. Nah, bro, sit down, man. Come on. Oh, geez, Louise. Back to this amazing podcast before I interrupted it with that bullshit. Sorry, you guys. It just bothers me that people are like so negative all the time. Blah, 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 blah. Just like pissing out negative shit out of their mouth. All right. So that was one. That was phenomenal. I don't know if you had any particular takes on this, but he mentioned that trillions will flood into exactly what they're talking about and how they're going to utilize metal. And this comes at 23 minutes. So let me go to that real fast. I think this is Marshall Hayner talking. If not, it's the DeLand gentleman.
Under the current presidential administration, that crypto companies and individuals holding digital assets were treated unfairly. You may have seen this news. Now we can finally be treated fairly. And I think we should put our money into the local credit unions and we should bring them back into our communities. And so that is just, it's the perfect, finally there is this opportunity to have banking services fairly, and let's put it into our communities. So I just wanted to add that. I think that that's really important. There's trillions of dollars that are going to come in and they need a place to go. And they're going to leverage this technology with Metallicus and DeLand. And so what's next in my mind is really you're going to see the beginning of these integrations. You're going to see credit unions launching their own stable coins. You're going to see credit unions integrating DeLand coin to core and the ability to deposit your Bitcoin, your digital assets directly into the credit union, to inside the credit union. It's gone are the days that you're going to have to transfer to a third-party service, wait a few days, maybe get held up. You're just going to log into your credit union, buy Bitcoin. Oh, you sold some at a profit and you want to get it into your checking account. It's already there because you're logged in, you're inside your checking account. So that's really the next step, is you're going to.
Huge,
And it's already happening right now. Like the St. Cloud US, D stablecoin that you had just shared that was just announced last week. It's happening in real time, right? And if you go and you search the Block Explorer right now, if you know how to search, you'll find other trust lines that appear that are going to be potential stable coins for some other credit unions. I won't share it on this live because I was asked to take down a certain post that included all that information, but I'll leave it to you guys, the viewers, to go to the XPR Block Explorer and go and try to try to find what I've just said right now. Go see the different trust lines and see what you find. But if you've been paying attention, you know that what I'm saying is not cap. So,
yeah, I'll leave the video breakdown for this one to let everybody really digest the information that was presented today. Bottom line is, I encourage you guys. No, I got to backtrack. I did block that individual. I see you guys in the chat because you can't change. Like, so the reason why I just blocked that person is because they said that XPR is for a fact stealing XRP's name. No, they're not. I've already shown in this video breakdown that is the farthest thing from the truth, with actual like real logical information on what the X stands for in assets in general, like gold, silver, XRP, XBTC, so on and so forth. And so when you show something like that to people, but then they still try to bring their opinion to a conversation, there is no helping them, right?
Yeah.
So the next step after that, after we try to educate, it's just to get rid of them. You can't save them all, guys. Okay. So we have to. We can't, just like Angelica said, you can't reason with stupid. So we're not gonna deal with it. Anyways, this is the last video clip that I will play for you guys. And I just, again, go and do the research. I could care less. It's not going to do anything for my position because we're retail traders. If you guys buy metal or XPR, honestly, God, don't buy it. As a matter of fact, don't go out there and buy it. Could care less, but just research. Just go research. Don't allow these high-end influencers with a whole huge following count manipulate you guys into looking into projects that will otherwise benefit you long-term. right? Or not looking into projects that would otherwise benefit you long term. And you guys know, especially if you followed CyberX for some time, I've been in this space since 2016 making freaking XRP content. XRP is still my biggest bag, is my biggest investment. So I'm not against XRP by any means. I actually like the fact that I could take my XRP once it goes to a high price, go over, post it as collateral, lend it out, borrow against it, and go about enjoying my life and paying for expenses and doing things with DeFi with my freaking profits instead of actually having to sell my XRP, doing that, utilizing the XPR network. So I like both. You could be the type of person that doesn't gravitates towards this negative content of people that are just freaking like delusional and don't know what they're talking about. Or instead you could just go do the research, which is what I'm encouraging you guys do. Right.
Facts. Yeah, I got a nice bag of XRP as well, and I even got a ton of the Fuzzy Bear NFTs, which I feel like makes me knee deep into the XRPO.
I honestly feel like anybody in 2025 as an influencer that's still tribal, like honestly, just delete your account. Like, why are you tribal? It's like super weird that people are still like that when we know now for a fact, like there isn't going to be one blockchain to rule them all. It's just weird that people still like, I don't know.
It's like, oh, okay, so you're native. All right, so you don't want to win. You don't. I'm telling you that this one has a strong possibility of winning, and let me show you all the proof. But you're
well,
native.
It's not only that, it's honestly like a lack of education. Like if you still think that one protocol is gonna like win it all, you're just not doing enough research flat out. Like that is, there's a couple of different clear signs to me that somebody is just super ignorant, and maxis are one of them. Like people that are like, oh, Bitcoin only, XRP only, I'm immediately like, you're probably stupid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just being real, like, you know, and that's coming from a person.
Lack of awareness. Yeah, it's lack of awareness, bro. Straight up, lack of awareness. In this game, you have to have the logic, the smarts, the brains, but you also have to have the awareness. Period.
Yeah, awareness is key. Awareness to be able to compensate when somebody throws bullshit in your face. Like, never mind. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Let's play this last video clip. Trillions of dollars are coming, and they will use this technology.
So I think John put it perfect. You know, from my perspective, I see two angles for this. One is the credit union executive and those internally inside the credit union space, and really that is to look at the deposit outflows, like John mentioned. So these are different crypto apps. You see the money coming out of the credit union. It's not coming. Those are neobanks that have their own cards and, you know, the whole platform, and they're incentivized to try and keep you inside this loop. But most of those neobanks and platforms, they're usually riding on like some smaller bank or something like that. What I think that where this opportunity is for the executives in credit union space, look at the outflows and realize that that doesn't have to be the case. And in fact, not only that, but you can flip the switch where all of a sudden, not only are the outflows stopping, but now the inflows are coming. Trillions of dollars of inflows are coming, and the credit unions are going to lead this space. I've been very good at predicting these things in the crypto space, and I can very clearly see how the credit unions play a very important role in it. So I think some of the players in the space are looking at it and thinking, well, this is great for stopping outflows. But one of the things you may be missing is that the crypto space has been unbanked for years. They have been not only unbanked, but they have been persecuted. They have been given a very hard time. They've been routinely debanked. And so now when the credit union space opens its arms to the industry, especially for the consumers, Wells Fargo didn't even allow people to buy crypto. JP Morgan didn't allow people to buy crypto. They would close your account. And now all of a sudden they've changed their tune. Well, I think we should put our money with our local communities, with our credit unions, and we should bring it back. I keep saying that during this interview, but I think that is super important. It's not just the technology, but the vision. And when you're working inside the credit union space, realize that this is not just about deposit outflows, which you should be concerned about. That's something that you don't want to lose, because if that happens, that could put the credit union at risk. But there is a whole generation, it's really generational. It's not just Gen Z, Gen Y, millennials, but you know, every generation. If you give them a safe and easy place to do it, trillions of dollars are going to come in. It's not just retention, but it's bringing it in. And from the consumer angle,
so I'll pause it there, right? He's just going to talk about the $1 trillion opportunity that exists, particularly on the credit union side of things. And Metallicus, as we've shown you guys in today's call, is leading the charge in that niche. No other person is doing what they've done over the past year for credit unions.
Yeah. And what he was saying as well, like to piggyback what Marshall was saying, because they had said earlier in this podcast, I forget the percentage, it was like either 5 to 10% of liquidity is outflowing and it's going into crypto, right? So with this installation with Metallicus and the credit unions, well, instead of that money leaving that credit union, it's going to stay right there in that digital wallet and be side by side with your other digital assets, with your checking account. And then down the line is going to be so many other things that are going to get added, I would imagine, right? But there's another powerful part too. It looks like you might be going back to it because what John had said too was extremely powerful. And I think there's one clip in what he said, I feel like is going to age so well. And we can circle back come January because he says this January, this is what we're going to see. But is that what you're going to do? You're going to play it?
Yeah. I'm going to play that. This will be the last clip. But the reason why I want to play that is because he specifically says with Metallicus in this partnership, that is what allows us to onboard these financial institutions, right? So again, just think of that in terms of the misinformation that exists on the internet. It's like, oh, Metallicus, the whole ecosystem, it's a meme coin. I've seen that. What are you talking about? When they're sitting here and they're at the forefront of being integrated with financial institutions and giving credit unions the first of its kind ability to build compliant stablecoins. This is huge, y'all. It's huge because a lot of people don't understand too the regulation behind it and why it's so huge. Let me just tell you guys what I'm talking about. So if you go and you read the Genius Act, right, stablecoin legislation or whatever, and you go look at what they talk about when it comes to the issuer of stablecoins not able to provide a yield-bearing stablecoin. Like, so we're not going to be able to earn yield on the stablecoin itself from the issuer. But what we're going to be allowed to do is these banks, these financial institutions, they can create their own stablecoin. And yes, they can't issue yield directly from the stablecoin, but what they can allow you to do is post said stablecoin as collateral, lend it out, borrow against it, and the lent out position that you have in said stablecoin can generate yield. That's what's so important. That's what's so powerful. And Metallicus allows these financial institutions to build a compliant stablecoin. Then they also have a platform where they can integrate it directly into their lending and borrowing space, or just copy it because it's open software into their backend and allow a freaking credit union to have a similar application like WebAuth, staking, lending, borrowing, all that stuff directly into the wallet that a bank will just be able to drag and drop, this plug and play. Boom. They can just take the software, plug it in, put their brand on it, and give it to their clients and their customers.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And once you understand the full ecosystem, every part of it plays a role. You know what I mean? Like Metal, Layer 0 gives them the ability to have their own blockchain, have their own stablecoin, but then XPR Network as the primary subnet comes into play to get those stablecoins working, whether it's on dApps or borrowing and lending, right? So, and that's like XPR, that's why I've been saying by default, XPR Network wins when Metal wins.
Yeah. No, it's a very granular ecosystem that anybody's fading. Looking back in 2020, 2030, I don't want to be the type of person to say I was fading Metallicus because of some influencer on the internet that was like, oh, XPR is trying to copy XRP. That would be the dumbest thing to say in 2030. That's why you missed out. Oh, buddy. Jeez Louise. Take a second and listen to this gentleman, the CIO of DeLand.
So come downstream, more legislation, more regulation, driving the consumers into these spaces vis-a-vis FIs, and probably some disruption and challenges to payments. The good news is, through our bridge and gateway in partnership with Metallicus, we can make sure that your deposit dollars don't have to leave your FI.
Yeah.
You stay a funding source in the payment stream and the transaction stream, and you can maintain wealth and share of wallet and continue to serve the community even as money morphs in the way that other services did when they bumped into the internet in the past.
Yeah.
So that's what we see coming, and we're committed to ensuring the industry has a solid set of tools, the best set of tools, and a ready gateway, a functioning gateway. And I think another thing is this is real. We've built this. It's functioning. It's live. It works.
Cool.
Another thing you're going to see coming is a lot of people announcing plans and promises, which is where we're excited to already have product and solutions that are turnkey for shops trying to solve these problems right now.
All right, last question for you guys, because I know you probably have a lot on your plate. I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, bro, he couldn't have said it better. I mean, it's wild. It's wild that a lot of people, this whole entire interview, honest to God, if you didn't send it to me, would have went over my head. But wow, so many gems in this one, bro.
So many. 2026, we're going to hear some of these projects giving us plans and promises for these guys already got the solution to these problems, already figured it out. And we're going to be hearing about their plans and promises to catch up. But Metallicus is here, ready now, ready to play ball, and is already playing ball silently, literally silently right now. And I think it's just a matter of time before everybody in crypto ends up finding about Metallicus, though. I think it's just a matter of time.
I agree. I think the fact that they're not in the top 100 is, or are they in the top 100?
That's a good question. I would say top 10. A couple of them should be in the top 10, soon.
I think bottom line and key takeaway from today's call that everybody should just leave with is that diversification is key, and tribalism in this space can get you wrecked and can lead to misinformation. And I hope that today, like I said, if you've been here since the beginning of this call, I know that we kind of at some points in time got to talking the ish and gave a little bit of our opinion, but I think for the most part, we did a pretty good job at diffusing all of the incorrect statements that were projected on said gentleman's live. And I think it's important for us as influencers and people that create content on this internet to fact check each other and give real credible information and not just opinionated hypey bullcrap that never materializes and can be disproved. It's kind of honestly embarrassing that people are still in this day and age putting out content that can clearly be 110% wrongly said, like improved. But again, to each his own. Who you follow likely reflects in your portfolio, likely reflects in your personal life, likely reflects in all aspects of your life. So be careful on the content that you consume. Just like that saying, like what you eat is what you become. It's the same thing with the content that you consume, with the music you consume, with the videos that you watch. All that stuff reflects itself in your portfolio. It truly does, which is why in the CyberX community, a lot of people are freaking winning, because we focus on the stuff that matters when it matters most. Institutional insights, documents, deltas, institutional order flow, everything pretty much that the mainstream retail crowd is not focused on, because the mainstream retail crowd is always only focused on price appreciation, when bull run, when moon. None of that stuff matters in CyberX in our community. Like, honest to God.
Yeah.
Because
I like what you said there, though, too. Like, who you follow reflects your portfolio.
It does,
it
bro.
really does. It definitely does.
110%. And it's unfortunate, but most people do make financial based decisions off of who they follow. It's the truth. I mean, I can't sit here and say that you should do that or shouldn't do that. Again, to each his own. You're your own person, but you've likely bought a crypto asset or invested in something because of someone's content that you watched on the internet, right? So again, just be careful, right? Just be careful. That's all that I have for today's video breakdown. I have some personal things to attend to, so I got to hop off here. But Aqua, man, it's always been a pleasure.
Yeah,
and
likewise, brother.
Great freaking call.
Yes,
You guys,
sir.
take it easy. Blessings to you guys. We'll see you all next week on Friday. You guys all have a good one. And with that being said, make sure that you guys are following us on X, following us on YouTube. If anybody wants to tap in with us in the private community, you guys want more insights, fundamental breakdowns, real technical analysis via institutional perspectives, an individual in our community that gathers our institutional insights, has over 13 years of hedge fund experience. You guys want access to that deep insightful information, head over to cyberxtrading.com. We'd love to have you on the team. We'll see you guys next Friday. Everybody take it easy.
Peace.